Great atmosphere. I thank our fans for creating an environment that was conducive to our energy, and they provided some great energy in spurts. We gave them great reasons to, but then again, we kind of took the air or even the wind out of the sail on a couple possessions that I thought, and I credit Vanderbilt defensively for making us stagnant. We got to do a better job, but our guys, specifically Josh Gray, being able to get another double-digit rebound outing provided some depth, some defense around the rim. And these two to my right and left did a wonderful job executing down the stretch, the and one with Mark, and then obviously Ant Robinson, the backdoor layup that we got for Grill, which was timely on his execution, but also being able to knock down the 2 free throws that he had after missing 2 previously. So definitely our guys played with some resolve, resilience, and some fortitude to come out with a victory.
All right, questions? Coach, you guys scored the last 7 points of the game and hold them scoreless in the last 2 minutes. Just what did you make of the crunch time execution there at the end?
Well, I think timely. We stopped the second chance points. We kept them off the free throw line. I think their last couple points came off free throws and fouls and our lack of discipline in terms of giving the shooter space to land. And in addition to that, we went zone, kept us out of rotation. Our Mark Mitchell, whoever was in that middle, was able to rebound, and our guards ended up rebounding too. So to have back-to-back games, being able to win the rebounding battle says a lot about our character and their growth.
Coach, that run from where Vanderbilt cut it from a 17-point lead to a 1-point lead, did you feel that was more what you guys were doing, letting them back into it, or Vanderbilt forced?
Vanderbilt's a good team. They're a good team. I'm never going to take the credit off of a good team. That's a good team. They did some things that from transition, but also we got to do a better job stopping and impeding the progress of the basketball by having our rim protection there. And I thought they exploited opportunities to get to the foul line, but also getting the ball up the court on speed dribbles, especially when they had shooters coming down on the wings. But AJ is a great point guard, Big Ten experience, and you can tell just from the standpoint of the flow of the game where he was able to get creases, and that's what took place. It was a run of 2 halves that they had. The end of the first didn't go well for us, but we ended up closing it out, and then obviously they cut that lead coming into the second. But again, this is the SEC. That's a great basketball team, and obviously I'm proud of our guys.
Both Mark and Ant, what do you they cut the lead to 1 possession a lot, but never got it even. What do you kind of learn about yourself by managing to close one out like that?
I believe that we're a resilient team. We're going to stay together, and, just the connectivity we have and the trust we have in each other plays a big part in just staying connected in those moments.
Coach always talks about us having endurance, and I think today we did that. Obviously, basketball is a game of runs and highs and lows, so I think you just got to battle through those and weather the storm and try not to get too high or too low.
Yeah, Mark, they're obviously a little bit of an undersized team. Just kind of the style of play of this matchup, kind of how much were you looking forward to that with your style of play?
Obviously any team we go against, I'm trying to attack. Obviously we knew that they were a little more undersized. They're a really good team. They wall up, they play physical. But I was just trying to get to the paint, get to the foul line, get paint touches just like every other game.
For Ant, you guys hit your first 4 3-pointers of the game. What kind of helped lead to some of those open looks at the beginning?
Well, we just stick with the game plan. The shots came to us, and we was able to knock it down in the first half, the first 4 shots. So just sticking with the game plan, and, shooter's going to shoot, and we knocked them down. So.
For both Ant and Mark, just when the offense slowed down there, what did you guys kind of feel on the court was changing as that was happening?
Obviously we got a little stagnant, and obviously that stagnation probably led to some of their runouts on their offensive end. So obviously you just got to get back to the drawing board, work on it. But I think in the end, we made plays, and that's what good teams do. So obviously you're gonna have highs and lows and get stagnant in the course of the games, but we prevailed.
Dennis, I know you've talked about Caleb not letting his offense necessarily dictate the way he plays, but I think he started 0 for 5 and then hit a couple of big threes and had a couple of big steals. Can you talk about his importance in the last 6-8 minutes?
Well, when you have a kid like Grill out there, the gravity of the situation allows space, no different than that foul that he got on a catch and shoot. A guy tried to rip it and got all of his hand, and it was called, and he knocked down 3 free throws. But Grill doesn't think he was 0 for 5, and he's not going to ever catch the ball thinking that way, nor is his teammates. His teammates want him to shoot the ball, and he was able to make some great three-point shots for us tonight, but make some great defensive plays, some rebounds, and having him back playing the majority of the minutes that he did after his injury is crucial. And I thought he was able to make some unbelievable, timely execution on the other end.
For Ann and Mark, what has stood out about what Caleb's brought to the team since coming back from the injury?
Caleb has just been doing what Caleb does. He brings the energy to our team that we need. And, you know, Caleb is the spark that we always looking forward to. And every time he touches the court, you could feel it. And he just juices everybody else on the team. So he's a big part of our team.
Yeah, Caleb's impact is something we probably couldn't replace. You know, we try to bridge the gaps, but just having him out there, having his presence, you know, his veteran leadership, and just the toughness he plays with, it's just great to have him back. And hopefully we can keep him healthy the rest of the season.
A question for all of you. Your guys' offense kind of stagnated in the second half, and Tamar Bates had that big dunk to kind of ignite that game-sealing 14-6 run. What does a play like that just like do to the offense in general?
I think anytime, you know, when you're going through a little low like that, just to get a bucket, just to see the ball go through the basket, I think can be big just for team morale, just for our psyche. So I think that's what it did.
Yeah, I believe, you know, just trying to get out in transition a little bit. Maybe we was walking the ball up a little too much and just getting out and run. And just seeing that was just like a moment to allow, yeah, we need to get out and run somewhere. So,
well, the game is won on the defensive end, and our guys executed that. It is what allowed us to get the numerical advantage on the offensive end. But when we got 5-on-5, the referees allowed us to play a couple times mark. We got the ball in places that we wanted, but didn't come away with the foul shots that we were anticipating. So when there's a gap of foul shooting in addition to missed shots, I thought we relaxed. Sometimes the silver lining in making your first couple threes is that you live now the entire game with three-point shots. Think about Trent Pierce's last 3 attempts. It's a great shot if he makes it, but that's an opportunity where you got to punish the defense and get downhill, especially in that situation. The first half, we were in a bonus, and we still locked down on three-point attempts. So the ratio of three-point attempts during that run helped their defense, and credit to their defense, meaning Vanderbilt's defense. They were tough. That team may be undersized, but they got heart, and they're going to beat some teams. Again, a great program, great coach, much respect. They are very talented. They may not have the size, but they have a heart, and that's how they play the game. Defensively, what they did was gap coverage. They did a lot of gap anticipation, and that's what allowed us to pass and make quick decisions for those early threes. And ultimately, what we got to balance against a team like that is post feeds with pinch post catches with threes, and try to make sure they're off balance.
Dennis, how much of a game changer has Josh Gray, you know, his physicality and his rebounding been so far in SEC play?
Well, Josh is a first-team all-conference defender, and sometimes the things that he does is overlooked and underappreciated. We appreciate everything that he does. Ball screen defense is excellent. His rebounding is excellent and phenomenal. When he has in his mind that he's going to change a game with his rim protection, pursuit of the basketball, and obviously the IQ that he has, it's going to be in the positive. And that's what he did tonight. He was able to do a lot of things that it does not show up in his stat sheet. So Josh Gray, in my eyes, you can look at everybody's stats and say somebody else was the MVP, but I'll take Josh Gray any day of the week as the most valuable player of this game.
Mark, you mentioned wanting to get to the line every game, and I know the percentage maybe hasn't been what you wanted throughout the year, but is 7 of 9 kind of representative of what you expect out of yourself?
Yeah, obviously I go in the gym, work on my free throws every single day. You know, Coach Gates is telling me to just not worry about the misses and just stay out of my head. So I think tonight I did a good job of that, and that's what I'm going to keep doing going forward.
And you had a career at 8 assists. What goes into making those good opportunities for your team?
You know, just letting the ball move and flow. My teammates was in the right position, just making the easy play. not trying to force anything or, just force the gap where my teammates was right there and they knocked down the shot. So credit to my teammates.
I'll say this, and this is a public challenge to Ant Robinson, because I'm going to call his mom after this and tell her the same thing. Ant's growth has been great, right? Everybody sees it. Everybody can document it. You can see the clips. Ant's next stage of growth is ignoring his mistakes, his missed free throws, because he makes it so visible. And then that distracts him from executing the next game plan, right? I think he could have played 10 times better in the last 4 minutes, but after those 2 missed free throws, you visibly saw his upset or anger or just the negative thought. You got to look past the negative, Ant, and I'm going to call his mom and set up a meeting to continue to talk to him about the same thing, because he's valuable. But how can you be valuable if you're concentrating on the mistakes? So in essence, I've been working with Ant on this. You got to recover from what?
No mistakes.
You got to recover from his mistakes, and ultimately that's what will allow him to continue to grow in the direction that he's growing in.
Coach, we talked about the lineup versatility that you guys have with Josh Gray's performance of 11 rebounds and no points. What about the flip side of the small ball lineup where you guys forced 3 shot clock violations in the first half? Like, what do you think about that lineup that you've been running recently in the starting lineup?
Well, I mean, I think Trent Pierce is the 4th tallest guy on the team. He's taller than Mark, taller than Aiden. The only people he's not taller than is Josh, and he's right there out of eye with Josh and Peyton and Trent Burns. So I can't say a small ball. What I would say is more versatile, a more versatile offensive team, a more versatile defensive team. We're able to switch 1 through 5 versus Josh. Josh is one of the best ball screen defenders in the country. And it's almost like no different than man-to-man to a zone disrupts some teams. Going from a hedge to a switch on ball screens disrupts reads as well. So Trent Pierce gives us that. Mark Mitchell does a great job of playing 2 or 3 positions, whatever I need him to do. His versatility speaks for itself. And when you have guys that don't pigeonhole your decision-making as a coach, it allows us to play a fluid basketball game. Josh Gray, believe it or not, can switch 1 through 5. And that's something that we'll also look at. But don't think that Josh Gray footwork isn't good enough to switch 1 through 5 as you see him hedging ball screens the way that he does. We just opt to keep him closer to the rim because of his rebounding prowess and obviously ability to hit and get.
Last question. The coaches, in the final 5 minutes, you had 6 guys out there. What prompted you to trust that closing group and who was part of it?
Look, their experience is their experience. They understood the flow of the game. I thought they were clicking in all different ways. I wish I could, throw some young guys in there, but at the end of the day, these are the games you have to win in this conference. You got to take care of home court, especially against a team like Vanderbilt and obviously against a team like LSU. Being able to now move on the road, it gives us an opportunity moving forward to, again, go against one of the top teams in the country and also a potential #1 seed. And that's what we're facing. I just want our guys to play free and play to their instincts.
All right, thanks, guys.
MIZ.